Can't be me. My 3 seconds of signal time is gone.
Well, we'll see how long this lasts. 'Cause it's hard telling with only one single bar. Um, I'm using GoPro Live. Oops, I don't know what that was. That was weird. Um, Nobody there yet. They all hate me. Hey, there's Eyes in the Woods. What's up? Hi, Eyes. We've been a traveling band, that's for sure. How you doing? Brian and Chewy, what's up, buddy? Oh, well, thank you. We love you all as well. Brian and Chewy, we just saw the other day. Um, yeah, always love being Brian and Chewy.
Baron's feelings are very hurt that Chewy did not say goodbye.
Hi there, Angel. How you doing? So, yeah, we've been pretty busy today, and it's been a very fun and exciting trip. Um, we got up to the Adirondacks. We've got one bar, so Baron is probably sleeping in the car.
Yes.
Sometimes he wants to come out, and sometimes he wants to go right back in.
He doesn't like being outside in the dark for too long.
Don't
He's got
know.
more brains than the rest of us.
Yeah, considering we didn't get here till what 11 o'clock last night. That was a hell drive. In the dark.
Rain.
Yeah, I figured you left early Sunday to get back, and we were still sleeping. But hopefully nothing happened out at the parking lot. And I'll talk about that a little bit. That was interesting. Nothing really crazy, but strange. Definitely strange. We didn't get here till late last night, and so we didn't get out yesterday. But I'm throwing the kitchen sink everything I got at it tonight. We'll see how it pans out. How am I sounding? Hiya, Sandra.
Hello, chat folks. My phone doesn't work, so I can't be in there.
Yeah, we got Jen sitting right there. Mrs. Trackway looking on her phone. And I am holding. So, yeah, Wednesday we got to Research Area 2 with Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks, who had a lovely camp. Well, thank you, Brian. He had a lovely camp set up. We got there. Well, actually, the drive was phenomenal getting there. The drive was really nice getting there. And I don't remember much of it because I think I fell asleep and slept like 4 hours of it. I don't know, 4 or 5 hours.
Baron says it was 30 days in the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dog years. So many days.
And by the way, I do have to say something before I forget. It was so cool to look over at Brian and Chewy's car and seeing Chewy looking up and out the window like, what are you maniacs doing?
Opened my car door in the morning and, hello, Chewy.
But when we got to Jonathan's, we got up, we looked at the camp. Jonathan was one hell of a I want to say guest, but we were the guest host. Thank you. Put up one hell of a nice setup. And then we walked back down to start getting gear, and the skies opened up, and it just like we started getting drenched, and we didn't, it didn't. There was no way we could take anything up to camp and not get it soaked, So the cots would have been soaked. Everybody's clothes would have been soaked. We'd have just been absolutely drenched. And um, but fortunately, I had thrown one of those pop-up gazebos in the back of the truck.
Because we weren't going to bring it. So.
No, we weren't going to bring the pop-up gazebo, but at the last minute, I grabbed it and said, "Well, you never know." We popped that up, and that kind of saved the day. It was over the back of Jen's car, and we sat there through the rain, and then we were still getting soaked. So the next day, we made adjustments. We put I put the tarp that I brought over top of the gazebo, and yeah, it pretty much rained all day. It just poured. Well, thank you. We was thinking about you too, Eyes. I kept waiting for a corned beef to come flying through the air and smack me in the head. Never saw one.
Or a bottle of syrup.
Or a bottle, yeah. Well, I wanted a bottle of syrup.
Waste of good syrup. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, good syrup. We didn't have pancakes this whole trip. We started off with a freeze-dried breakfast meal that morning because as we really didn't want to fight with anything. I think it was amazing because Jonathan was up at camp, and he had the exact same meal that we did.
We were all like, "It's okay. This is pretty good."
It's all
He came
right.
down and was like,
Yeah.
"Inedible."
Yeah.
It was awful. I've never found it again.
Uh,
Oh, so clearly he has a more refined palate than we do. Because we're like, it's all right.
and
It's warm. That's all that matters.
yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty much just working with, as far as legs go, a wheel, and I think I'm down to a quarter after today, maybe an eighth. Um,
Come home, cripples.
yeah, Freya gave me the full body block, and well, my leg was locked. And actually, I need to cut this off because it's starting to really bother me. I ended up wrapping my leg just to keep the kneecap in place, I think, to keep, or the tendon from bouncing around. And I bore that all day because I couldn't walk more than a few feet without screaming. I wrapped that up. Jen's suggestion. Of course, Jen's also said, "Bring a brace," and I didn't listen. And yeah, bar now. And so I wasn't able to do much walking with Jonathan. And if you have never spent time with Jonathan, Jonathan is
A beast.
a beast. The man is a machine. And he is just able to go. Am I burning a homeless person I killed? Sure, why not? So we spent a lot of time there. The rain came in, then the fog came in. And if you've ever used a thermal in rain or fog, you're going to find out they're absolutely worthless.
The last 3 or 4 hours we were there.
Yeah. So, we really didn't, we really couldn't pierce the night. Even the IR that I have with me couldn't pierce the night. We did have audio recorders out, but that first night audio recorders wouldn't have been worthwhile.
Right. 8 hours of
Hello, Mason. Yeah, it would have been nothing but rainfall and everything else. And let's see. We did get out and we did do some walking with Jonathan that night. Felt kind of bad. Jonathan wanted to do a lot more, and but basically we were just drenched and soaked.
Plus, I told him, I said, dude, you are hardcore. We are like medium core on a really good day, and this is not a really good day. So,
Yeah.
oh, he was such a gracious host, though. Brought all of our favorite snacks.
However, we did,
Got us
you know,
pizzas.
we
Yep.
did point out, something on my truck, which was very interesting. And Jonathan put a clinic,
Yes.
and Jonathan removed items off the paint of my truck
While leaving the paint intact.
while leaving the paint intact. So,
It's quite interesting. More on that later.
more on that later once we find out more about it. But he did a really good job in taking it off. I don't know what exactly that it is. But it was very interesting, and there was, when I said, hey, look at this. All the next thing I know, I had like 3 sets of oohs and ahs. Ooh, ah, ooh. And so it's a good bit interesting there. So eventually we'll see that. Then we moved over to Whitehall, and we met traveling with Jim up there, who we just knew as Jim in the Dark from the last time we was up there. And nobody could make any faces. And then, like, Jim's sitting there, and we're talking to him. He's like, yeah, he starts bringing up being in chat and stuff and talking to people in chat. And it's like, yeah, it'd really be nice to meet some of the people in chat. And I looked at Jim and said, hey, I'm finding the Trackway. And he goes, oh, you are? And I'm like, yeah, that's Mrs. Trackway, and this is Jen with a flower. And Jim was just happy as a lark after that.
The one with the wrench.
The one with the wrench. And so we stayed the night, and Brian and Chewy had caught up with us at that point. They were actually on the road. Brian and Chewy was on the road right below us. He just didn't go far enough to run into Jonathan's truck or his Bronco. And he had caught up with Evan from New Hampshire.
Okay.
And Kate, who we met last year. And then we set up camp that night. Deborah and I stayed actually in the woods at the camp. We checked a lot of the other camps out. There was basically nobody there anywhere around us that night. We had a couple moments in the woods chasing stuff. I got freaked out. Got a good story for everybody. At one point I'm standing there and I shouldn't tell this, but one of the things that we do know in absolute certainty that we don't know what this thing's thermal signature looks like. So bears have a thermal signature, deer have a thermal signature, blah blah blah. Apes, I have not taken the thermal to a zoo and just went through all the animals and studied what their thermal signature looks like. So I'm not sure. Oh, that's okay. And I turned and I looked at this thing. I swear, I think I recorded it. So I should have recorded it. I look over and I see, and it looks like a human being balled up with this big pointy head on it. And I'm staring at it, and I'm staring at it, and I'm getting the willies. finally I said, screw it. And I just growled and went running right at it. And yeah, it was a rock.
We are a warts and all.
And all. You show your hits and your misses. That was a swing and a miss.
Did you taste?
Baron was just standing there. I come walking up through the woods like Bigfoot. Baron was like, what the hell? He's all freaked out. I wouldn't do that to Chewy because I'm afraid Chewy would probably decide I'm a chew toy. But
Pick on the little dog.
he's a little sweetheart. I did get spooked that night. We got a barred owl going off in the background. I heard that telltale right in front of me, right on top of me, and I couldn't see what the heck it was. And you know, at that point, I kind of thought, you know, this is not a very good idea. Being out here by yourself, because I just took off. I went down over the hill and
Is it well?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
was chasing stuff that first.
Yeah.
Bumped into Jonathan. Jonathan's got a good story down there. I'm not going to tell it. But I've never seen Jonathan. Jonathan is like the Pacific Ocean, right? So when you see like a big wave, you want to know what the heck had just happened. And, you know, Jonathan lost his calm there for a second. But, you know, we was chasing a dog or something that was coming up on him. And dog was kind of like stalking Jonathan. It was kind of weird.
Evan said it was a yote.
Was it a yote?
Huge. He said there was a yote about the size of a German Shepherd.
A huge yote was coming down on him.
Mm-hmm. That's what Evan said.
And I never saw it. I actually went down the road a little bit because you could actually look in that sight a little bit better. Yeah, it's another owl. I just heard them pop off. We got an owl over here and an owl over here. I haven't broken out the other gear to see if they're buzzing
I wonder
us.
what it is on the highway that makes the high pitched sound. It must be roof payment or something.
On the tracks, yeah.
So is the signal staying stable? What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Okay. I hear the owl. This sounded a little bit closer.
Push me through a little bit.
Your thumb on the table. So as I do have an interesting bit of audio in my head. I'm not sure what happened to the second one. At some point there, I handed Evan my rig. I think I did. He wanted to see it. I was absolutely fine with it. And he said it cost what? What's that? Yeah.
Hold this.
Petikoff. Well, Petikoff just put that in. Petikoff put a freaking, oh my God, overly expensive thermal in my hand and said, hold this, and went running up the hill last year, which left me sitting there going, I'm holding a Cadillac. I've never held such an expensive optic in my hand my entire life. What happened next?
The crazy.
There's a coyote.
It's on-
Yeah. So, well, you guys were hearing wolves or something back up at camp.
Well, Steve says there aren't wolves out there, so it could have been the male coyote.
Yeah, I don't remember because, well, like I said, I didn't hear you guys. I didn't hear it. I caught some weird sound that sounded like a seal. Literally sounded like kind of a seal whine.
No, there was a big, oh, like 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 it sounded like a wolf. What it sounded like.
I don't know.
Steve said it probably was the alpha.
I don't think I would have heard what I heard without the. I got a new Zoom M3 shotgun microphone. Does a fantastic job. Wearing the earphones as I'm walking. Yeah, I don't have my crazy helmet on. And another job of cleaning the audio and picking things out, and that's what I got it for. If you guys that have been watching me, been following me for, you know it is. And what's that?
Hot dogs.
Oh, and then also chasing down that whatever's out there doing that hooah, hooah. So if it ends up being beavers, it's beavers, you know. So chasing that, and I figured that I'm gonna need a better microphone. So that night we went to bed in the tent. I put proximity alarms out on. I got a couple that hang on the truck now, as well as a couple that you set on the ground around the tent. And then, like I said, Deb and I, Mrs. T, were the only ones that stayed at the campsite proper. Everybody else was, well, it was only just you and Chewy, Brian and Chewy, right?
And John.
And Jonathan. They slept out in the parking area. And okay. Mrs. T said that something brushed the tent by her head that night from behind. And then at 4 o'clock, the prox alarm that I had pointing at the tent, that was only 25 yards away, went off. And so anyhow, yeah, the prox alarm went off. I'm sleeping in my sleeping bag, and the only thing I got on is my BVDs. I come out of the tent and I grab a hold of the lantern and I go running out there with that lantern. And so there's
Somewhere there's a trail cam.
Somewhere there's a trail cam with a rather embarrassing photo of that nobody really wants to see. Somebody running out of the tent in their BVDs and a lantern. I didn't even have bear spray on me. I was like, what the hell? I just come flying out of that tent looking for what the hell it was. It set off that prox alarm.
Seriously freaked out and permanently scarred like squirrel or something.
Somewhere out there's a flying squirrel trying to wash its eyes out with Drano.
All the wood rats are going,
wow, whoa! I could have gone my entire life and not seen that. So, yeah, it was, I ain't afraid to say it. If that's all you got at the moment, just running out there in the dark in the woods and just your BVDs and a lantern. And then realizing after you get out in the middle of the woods just how stupid that is. I wasn't too worried about bears or anything. Although I think Brian and I did come up on a bear the next night. And then
and we played. Where's Jonathan?
well, that was the next day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the next day because he was pretty much.
The second night. Yeah.
Jonathan will go until he just like
falls down.
And our first night at Whitehall, he God bless him, he finally ran out of juice.
During your I ran out in my BVD stories, having
flashbacks
and lots of curiosity. I had
Yes?
Sorry, dude, you'll have to hear the story another time. What a time to pop in, my friend.
Graz writing it down. Right now, Graz has got a mental picture that he wished he didn't.
Green bleach.
Grass spent lots of time naked in the woods. So, you know.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. And the next night we stayed out there. The They went to Whitehall. I just sat on the site, improving the campsite and improving camping gear. Got the shower tent up. And we got showers that night or that day. What's that? Oh yeah, it's got
Motion sensor.
motion
right?
sensor to turn them on and off. It's kind of a pain
Hey,
in the butt.
Max is here. Hey, Max.
There's Max.
Did you see the charcuterie board I spread out in your honor?
Yeah, so we had a charcuterie board out today in honor of the great Max Powers.
Can I say the whole thing?
Max
Is that
fucking Powers.
Okay, I've been
Bigfoot
corrected.
Hunter
Hi, Betsy.
Memorial charcuterie board. That's what it was.
Memorial charcuterie board.
Tessa.
And
Ooh, Batmom, hi.
so not much. There was a little weird thing that happened. Jonathan ran into town, got himself some clean clothes, got his clothes and laundry all done. These two went to the Whitehall Festival, and I sat there just watching camp and putting things together, improving things. And I happened, for a little bit there, I had some wood knocking going on, which would have been to the east of camp that I was paying attention to. Keep in mind, we had a lot of material dropping. Oh, Betty loves your hide to her.
My what?
Your hide to her.
Tessa. And my phone, I have no signal. It's been that way pretty much for a week.
So, and one of the things I did do, I had to make sure I told everybody there, and I'm not. I climbed up. I have a climbing stick with me, and I put a trail cam about 10 feet in the air over the parking lot area because I haven't come back during the day. But okay, had to reconnect there. He came. This is really weird. That will have like 3 bars, and then
I have to stand in the center of the parking lot to have a bar.
there's a bar in that cooler over there. Oh wait, no, different type of bar.
Not your booze, man. Ooh, Laug.
Oh. What's that? You got her? I'm not sure where my knife's at. It's over there on the table. I think this bag has to be cut open. Our embers are... It's still enough there to start another.
You have that half a bag of kindling over there, too.
So we met Janet and Carol. They're paranormal people, never been out on a Bigfoot thing. They were super cool. Had some great stories with them and Jen. And let's see. Yeah, you two were still at Whitehall when they got there. You got back after dark and had to go carry all the wood back to the fire pit. Got a fire going. And I don't think it was much longer after that Steve showed up, and Steve brought the cavalry. A lot of
Steve, Mike, Ann,
Mike and
Christy, Sherry,
Ben.
Ben, Hops, and 2 other guys.
Yes. Oh, and Evan and Kate.
They came back up.
What's that?
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah, they were back. So,
Well, that's a big one.
I'm not sure what happened because we didn't have comms for everybody. Steve had his and he found some stuff. It was very interesting. Um, he didn't show back up until well after dark. He probably went 14 miles. Wasn't the leg, and I wasn't feeling all that great, so I kind of just stayed at camp after that. There was a couple other trips that went out. More people, yeah, people going out, people coming back. Not great, big, huge groups, small groups, and we had a great time. And then everybody left, and so I'm going to tell. Uh, we we the Pops and I think Ben stayed.
Yes.
Hey, and Mrs. T when she lays down, and hey, and Mrs. T when she lays down, and that's it. It's like 2 seconds. There's usually a. I think she puts like cans right to her feet, and I just zipped up my lummy bag. You know, big old freaking finger. You put two fingers together and put them on your back, and just it felt like something ran a finger up my back. So I'm laying there and I'm thinking, it's a sleeping bag. It's the sleeping bag and a whoopee. It had to be the sleeping bag. It just came to rest and it just felt like a finger swiping my back vertically, upwards, horizontally. Yeah, that's all it was. But I went from being like super sleepy to like wide awake after that. And I laid there listening to the night. And I'm like, okay, if something were to actually have done that, it didn't set off the prox alarm. And I started wondering, well, I heard the paranormal people was out there doing one of their spirit boxes. Like, I hope they didn't leave anything out there. But I'm just, not paranoid, but like wide awake. And I'm laying there and I'm listening. And I'm listening to the sounds of the night. And all night long, you got these, you got flying squirrels, tree rats, mice. Everything's knocking down acorns and walnuts out of the tree. And I'm just listening to it, and it's just like it's raining. There's so much of it going on. Then out of absolutely nowhere, it sounds exactly like Evan smacking the tree with his baseball bat, and it was right over. It came right over from where the outhouse was, and everything went quiet. I mean, dead quiet. So I'm laying there thinking, well, shit. I really don't want to go running out tonight in my BVDs. So I just kind of laid there and waited and listened, and it just stayed so abnormally quiet for the longest time. And then eventually the sound started coming back, and then I think I drifted off to sleep. Then we woke up. Got packed up and had the light stirred out, and
Pusher Prime did her job.
little does. Yeah, I had both Porsches running. One Porsche, the truck wanted to take us everywhere we went. It wanted to take us an extra route that took like an hour plus more than Google Maps wanted to take us. So we was following Google Maps, and we got here late last night. Didn't have time really to go out and do anything. We was all tired, and so we just all crashed last night. And that's been about it. I got audio recorders out tonight. Did have some thermal hits last night, uncertain. Um, and, as stuff progresses and we get things vetted and all that, you'll hear about it. But right now, I think I have, not counting any of the material right now, I've got over 3 terabytes worth of audio and video to go through. Um, at the rate that I'm going, it might be after Christmas before I get to it all. Um, it's going to be, I still, just the stuff that we took off my truck, that Jonathan took off my truck, I suspect has actually been there since our trip to Pennsylvania. Um, and I haven't gotten through that material yet. I'm still working through material just to give you a heads up. But what'd you say, hey, man? Oh, not super great about introduction. Who's being? Oh, Batmom, Betsy. Yeah, it was kind of funny because like I said, we were all sitting there. I don't know if you heard that, uh, Betsy, but we're sitting there. Jim's sitting there. We're talking to him. He goes, "Yeah, it'd really be nice to meet people and chat." And I looked at him and I said, "I'm finding the trackway." And all of a sudden he goes, "You are?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm finding the track." "You're kidding me." I'm like, "No, that's my wife, Mrs. Trackway, and that's Jen with the flower." And he's like, "You're kidding me." "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "I'm traveling with Jim." And the thing of it is, you see a lot of people in the dark, and you don't see their faces. You kind of hear their voices. So we did do an outing earlier, way back in March or May, and that was our big suggestion because
TNT one.
yeah, the TNT one. We didn't know, you know, you get to know some people there, but at one point I'm standing there, I'm talking to this woman. We're going out, right? 3 of us are heading out. There's something that's drawing our attention. We are on the road. We want to get out there and see what's drawing our attention. And as we're going out, I'm standing there and I'm talking to somebody. Um, a woman comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you were at OBC?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was at OBC. I saw this, heard this whoop and everything, and standing there talking to her for a little bit, and then come to find out, it was, probably the first person I met in chat doing this is Ada from PA, and since then, Ada and I have been, Ada and all of us have been out at several outings, and I have no clue what she looks like. None. And what's that?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, no idea. Other than I was talking to her in the dark, and um, Scott Holbrook, I love that guy. Vehicles are going up and down the road, and they drove up to Scotty. "What the hell are you guys doing out here?" And Scotty took it like a trooper. He answered him. So he's a quality guy. Ooh, never cross your legs when you're wearing muddy muck boots.
I'm trying to scrape the big chunk off my shoes before I get in the car tonight.
So, but yeah, we're gonna wrap it up tomorrow.
Going in the bag.
Um, we're all taking a break right now. I'm gonna fire up the IR cameras and put them on right on the road and see if anything crosses the road. See if we get another. My thermal right now is absolutely full. I have no way to download any of that video, and so I can't record any video on my thermal, which I'm sure some people are like, "Well, you can't walk and take thermal at the same time." We still have a little bit of room space left on her thermal. My hope was that that's a bad way to meet guys on the internet, in the dark. Yeah.
I've had to retest it.
Um,
Good Lord. It's like an inch thick on the bottom of my hair.
yeah. So hopefully, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully something happens. We had this discussion as we was like driving over here, like, when I had that feeling of that finger brushing on my back. Um, and I was in that because it's a mummy bag, one of those that you zip up the side. And I'm like, the absolute last thing in the world that I really want to go through is, because I'm like, oh, not now. When you're in a mummy bag, that's like the worst place in the world to like have a Bigfoot encounter. It's like, they come in, grab a hold of you. There's nothing you can do. You're just a freaking tamale, you know. You throw some lettuce or some grass or some walnuts or whatever the heck yeah, I got a burrito, guys. So, look at that, and one look at me in that sleeping bag, be like, oh, he's so marbled. And, I'm gonna eat well tonight. Yeah, I was just in the tent. Um, it could have. I don't know if it. Like I said, the prox alarm was on the other side. I no sooner got the bag kind of zipped up, the lights out, and rolled over on my side. I wasn't laying there very long, and that's when it felt like the finger going up the back. And like I said, I laid there and questioned if it was the material of the sleeping bag doing that. But Mrs. Trackway had something similar happen the night before. So, and her head was up against the back of the tent. I'm not sure if my back was up against the tent, but definitely felt that, and definitely went from being like I'm sleepy to wide awake right now. And like I said, when everything went quiet there in the Adirondacks, up at Cole's area, and I heard that thunder knock, I thought for sure the people out in the parking lot were going to be messed with. So, because that's kind of what happened the year before, is that, of course, nobody was in the campsite. I had the audio recorder on the hood of my truck and one behind the truck, and listening to that Whitehall, our first trip to Whitehall audio. You hear the tailgate latch being messed with, you hear the doors being messed with, you hear something running in the dark come running down up the road, and it goes into the woods. And now keep in mind that after we got robbed, it made me question. It's made me question. You know how many vandals are out there just walking around.
Move Mr. Boo Boo Finger. You're blocking half the camera.
Oh, sorry. Small tent. Was the door open? I camped last night with my oldest. I was sleeping. And find my flashlight. Okay. I gotta remember this thing works off here, but so we'll walk over here and hopefully I don't lose you. So I was sleeping in that tent right there. And I guess that's something else that I didn't do, was like check the outside to make sure there wasn't like any kind of fingerprints. Because that's the same thing with the truck. You know, I didn't check the truck. But yeah, I was sleeping up against this side of the tent in my. I sleep on a cot, and I never even thought about looking at the fabric until just now. Let's look at the back here. And we just replaced our I don't see anything that looks like sebum or anything like that, if I'm saying it right. We just replaced our, yeah, we did see a bear on the opposite side of the road. Bears, I don't think would mess with you, especially black bears. Grizzlies would probably just be like, "Oh wow, look, they gift wrapped us treat." So our tent of 30 years finally died on us in PA, so we've replaced it with this new one, and very happy with it so far this trip. We talked about things that was really good. The tent was that north face, Winona 6 is a winner.
I know. I'm like, that's it. I want a hotel. I'm done.
Oh, what, the drive last night? Yeah.
I just like this not highways for most of it. I'm so used to highways for most of it. No, we wound our way through about
Yeah.
8 tiny towns in New York.
Yeah.
Some state route. I don't know.
We came through little
for
tiny
gas.
burgs last
None.
night.
Oh, look at gas station and the pumps are all full.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about. So last night on the drive here, we came
like,
across
I'm seeing
the.
double. I need to get the fuck off the road and go to sleep.
We came across the turnpike, and then it takes you through.
A 5-hour drive took like 8.5, 9.
Yeah, I don't know why it took so damn long.
Oh god.
I know that's the exact same route we took last year.
We went through because it avoided tolls when we went from.
When we came up, we avoided tolls, but when we came back,
Yeah, when we were back on the throughway.
because I recognized a lot of the landmarks. That there were the gas station that wasn't a gas station. We turned there last year.
Really?
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's
And
like when we got in the car at the Whitehall, I was like, all right. Well, then me losing my keys didn't help.
yeah, well, you know, like I said, we got out of there late. Not much we could do about it.
Yeah.
So we're at the 52-minute mark. We're probably going to start wrapping up. So
In about 3 months, we'll see footage from this trip.
3 to 5, 6. So
As things get figured out.
yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get figured out and get to the right people and blah blah blah. Interesting trip for sure. Yep. So yeah, guys, thank you for hopping in. And anything really, you know, you got any questions real quick we can answer, we'll answer them. If not, we'll say our goodbyes, and we will see you down the road.
Bye, guys.
That's the red button.
Live end with. How do you end this button?
No touch either red button.
What's this button here do?